Most fish you know follow a familiar blueprint: streamlined bodies, two symmetrical eyes, swimming by wagging their tails and steering with fins to stay balanced. From goldfish in tanks to tuna in the open sea, they live in a three-dimensional world, swimming, turning, maneuvering like dancers in the current. But the flatfish, a creature that looks almost deformed, has chosen a radically different path. Flatfish aren't just one species. They're a bizarre world of over 700 species in the order Pleuronectiformes. They fall into two main groups: right-eyed flatfish, Pleuronectidae, and left-eyed flatfish, Bothidae. Their shapes defy all logic. Some are as long as snakes, some round like dead leaves, and others look like burned scars on the ocean floor. But what makes them true, evolutionary anomalies, lies in their skulls. At birth, they look like any fish. But as they grow, the entire skull twists, optic nerves rewire, and one eye slides to the other side. Even Charles Darwin, the greatest mind in science, was baffled by this transformation. In an ocean teeming with predators, drifting in the midwater is like volunteering to become a snack. Flatfish didn't choose to swim fast or hide in coral reefs. Instead, they quietly pressed themselves against the ocean floor, where dim light and stealth are the best survival tools. To stay alive down there, they had to learn to lie completely on their sides. Over time, lying sideways meant one side of their body faced the sand, while the other faced up. This allowed them to achieve perfect camouflage, not only to avoid predators, but also to launch lightning-fast ambushes on prey. To make that possible, they had to sacrifice everything: the symmetry of their bones, their ability to process light, even the layout of their visual neural system. But in doing so, they became perfectly adapted to life on the seafloor. Today, lying sideways isn't a deformity, it's their secret weapon. The flatfish is a true master of disguise. Sometimes, you might think you're looking at a peaceful patch of sand, but it's actually a fish lying perfectly still, waiting. It doesn't just change color to match its surroundings, it mimics patterns, gravel, seaweed, even shadows from objects above. Even more impressive, flatfish have a special nervous system that processes visual input from their eyes and sends commands to pigment cells in their skin to adjust instantly. They can recreate shadows, curved lines, and even complex patterns, all within seconds. This ability isn't just for hiding. It's a deadly hunting tactic. One sudden strike from the living sand, and the prey doesn't even realize what hit it. For the flatfish, camouflage isn't just an art, it's a life or death strategy, refined over millions of years of evolution. During the breeding season, flatfish migrate to warmer, shallower waters to spawn. It's a time when the ocean seems to bloom underwater. Millions of tiny eggs are released into the water column. A single female can lay between 100,000 to over 1,000,000 eggs in one season. When these eggs hatch, the baby flatfish look just like any regular fish. They swim upright, have one eye on each side, and a symmetrical body. But within 2 to 6 weeks, everything changes. They begin to morph into the flat, side-lying hunters they're meant to be. At this stage, the juveniles are extremely vulnerable, easy prey for predators and highly sensitive to changes in the environment. Only a tiny fraction survive long enough to reach the seabed, where they become camouflaged ambush predators. Life begins with a brutal test and only the most adaptable make it to the end. Remarkably, the lower eye gradually loses its function. In some species like sole or flounder, it becomes smaller, less light-sensitive, or even degenerates entirely. Neuroscientific studies have shown that the lower eye no longer sends strong visual signals to the brain, concentrating most of the fish's vision in the upper eye. The upper eye, the one exposed, is the primary organ used for observing and stalking prey. The lower eye, positioned closer to the seabed, is often smaller, underused, and in some species, nearly blind or functionally degraded. Although both eyes remain neurologically connected, they no longer provide balanced vision, a phenomenon well documented in studies of flounders and halibuts. The giant flatfish, a silent giant beneath the sea. Among all flatfish species, the Atlantic halibut is the largest ever recorded. It can reach up to 2.5 meters in length, weigh nearly 300 kilograms, and live for over 50 years. Despite its size, it's a bottom-dwelling, solitary species that thrives in the cold, deep waters of the North Atlantic. Today, halibut is considered a luxury seafood item in many countries, prized not only for its delicate taste, but also for its high nutritional value, especially its richness in omega-3 fatty acids and protein. However, due to its commercial demand, The Atlantic halibut has faced overfishing, and conservation measures are now in place in several regions.